This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
What to do if you get injured during the stay-at-home order. That information and more next. It's a new week. My hair is a little bit longer than normal, but I really can't complain. I'm Ken Kara. I thank you so much for joining us, and let's get to your information from SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. 4 new deaths were reported in Luzerne County in the latest COVID-19 numbers from the State Department of Health. There were no new deaths in Schuylkill or Carbon counties reported on Monday. Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassatt released a second emergency declaration for the city today. All of the previous precautions for the city are still in place, but the curfew time in Hazleton as of May 1st at 12 a.m. will be from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Summary offenses will be handed out to those who don't comply with the safety measures. The Hazleton Area School District has added new pickup locations for meals for students. Meals can be picked up at these new locations on Tuesday and Friday at the times on your screen. There's also a few places where meals will be dropped off. Kids 18 and under will get 3 days worth of meals on Tuesday and 4 days worth of meals on Friday. The new locations include the Freeland Village, the old Capriotti's Catering Building in Tresco, Beaver Meadows Fire Hall, and the Can-Do Community Park in downtown Hazleton. Plus, meals will be dropped off at the Beach Street Apartments in Hazleton, the 24th Street Apartment Complex in Hazel Township, and Community One Ministry in Hazleton. Now a look at the original locations that are still open. This week, these locations will distribute food on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. For full information on the program, go to facebook.com/HASD announcements. Everyone is trying to stay at home as much as possible, but injuries can still occur, like if you're on a stationary bike and dancing during an online cycling class. Trust me, you can get hurt. So Coordinated Health, now part of the Lehigh Valley Health Network, has their new virtual orthopedic injury center. The center is open 24/7 for injuries like sprains, strains, suspected fractures, breaks, and back pain. Just call 610-861-8111 to start the process.
My patients seem to really love it. They're very appreciative. I spoke with a school teacher this morning, an elementary school teacher. She twisted her ankle. She has not left her house. She's a very good citizen. She really has not left her house in probably 4 weeks. So she was thrilled that we were able to get a virtual visit. We made a diagnosis. She's going to be put in what we call a cast shoe, which is going to be delivered to her in a very safe manner. And we're going to continue to flatten the curve.
Earlier this month, a storm did damage to the roof of Wilkes-Barre's City Hall building. Charles McElwee of the Greater Hazleton Historical Society filled me in on what makes that building so interesting and what ties it to the Hazleton area.
And that's a historic building. It's from the mid-1890s, and it was built by a guy named Ben Davy Jr. Now, he was from Wilkes-Barre. His father came from Cornwall in England, and then Davy grew up in Wilkes-Barre, but he was behind a lot of buildings in Hazleton, in the Hazleton area, including St. Paul's United Methodist Church. So that was at one time the second oldest church or actually that was the oldest church in Hazleton, but the building, the oldest building now is First Presbyterian, but St. Paul's was one of the runner-ups, and Davy designed that in 1898, and it was what's called a Richardsonian Romanesque building. It's beautiful. It's right behind the Altamont, and unfortunately, we see it falling into disrepair right now, although various people, groups in Hazleton, including the library, are figuring out what to do as we talk right now. In addition, Davy was behind MMI, so he designed MMI in the late 1800s. So a lot of the architectural legacy we see in Hazleton as a result of Davy's work. Fortunately, we saw in Wilkes-Barre this week that one of his masterpieces is going to need some extensive repairs.
I remember being in City Hall back when I was doing a lot of news when I was first getting out of college as a reporter, and it has this feeling of like, maybe I'm wrong, but like Gotham City to me. It just feels like this City Hall. There's some tight spaces in there, even like their council chambers, I believe. It's an interesting building.
It's a really interesting building because it combines all these different styles. So you have a little bit of Romanesque, especially at the base of that building, and then it meets Victorian. You had the turrets, although they were removed. But you're right. I mean, it's the type of building you would associate with Manhattan, maybe even like Brooklyn. not necessarily Wilkes-Barre. Although you know the argument could be made, Wilkes-Barre really replicated the architecture of Manhattan during the early 20th century, and that City Hall is an interesting contrast from Hazleton City Hall, which is important to note right now because the original City Hall in Hazleton, that was more Victorian. That was built in 1912, 1913, and once had a far larger tower. But then when the Depression hit, FDR started the WPA. So all these public works projects in every city and town were to keep people employed. So the City Hall that we see today is actually a WPA project that turned it into this Art Deco building. So it did strip Hazleton City Hall of much of its ornamentation, but it kept people employed.
Well, Charles, always interesting stuff when you mention trying to save buildings and places in Hazleton like St. Paul's, the efforts you do and the Greater Hazleton Historical Society. It's wonderful. We have some time on our hands right now as we're all staying home and staying safe, so check out the Greater Hazleton Historical Society and Museum on Facebook. They have a bunch of great pictures and a lot of great information.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
April showers, am I right? Here's our rainy forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, a 40% chance of showers, mainly before 10 p.m., mostly cloudy, low of 33 degrees. Tuesday is mostly sunny with highs in the mid-50s. At night, a 30% chance of showers after 3 a.m., mostly cloudy, low of 41 degrees. Hazardous weather outlook on Wednesday, maybe some wind and storms, mostly cloudy, high of 52, 40% chance of precipitation with wind gusts as high as 29 miles per hour. At night, a 90% chance of showers, mainly after 9 p.m., low of 47 degrees. Thursday, a 90% chance of showers, high of 58. Same chance of rain at night, mainly before 3 a.m., low of 46. Friday, a 50% chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a high of 56. And Friday night, 50% chance of showers before 9 p.m., mostly cloudy with a low of 44 degrees. Coming up, we go downstairs. That's right, we leave my at-home studio to go to the living room and kitchen to talk with my wife, who's also a dietitian, about eating healthy during quarantine. We also have a recipe to share with you. And in sports, we hear from members of the Hazleton Area High School softball team about the cancellation of their season and how they want to be remembered. SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of the following. Arthur R. Fuhrer, 82, of Zion Grove. A memorial service will be held at a later date. The Damiano Funeral Home in McAdoo is assisting the family. You can send condolences at damianofhinc.com. Deacon Raymond W. Wilkinson Sr., 91, of Weatherly. A mass will be held at a later date. The Joseph J. Pula Funeral Home in Stroudsburg is assisting the family. For information, go to pulafuneralhome.com. Felipe N. Vargas, 83, of West Hazleton. Services will be held at a later date. The Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home in Hazleton is handling arrangements. For more information, go to conahanfuneralhome.com. Anna L. Gasper, 91, of Hazleton. Mass will be held at a later date. The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home in Hazleton is handling arrangements. And June Catherine Heinzelman, 80, of Hazleton. Services are private. The Crofton Hughes Funeral Home in Hazleton is assisting the family. You can send condolences at khfuneralhomes.com. Tonight's social news has been brought to you by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory. For information, call 570-788-0977 or go to harmonfuneral.com.